As I started as a student thinking about death and dying, I always thought I had the right answers. So whatever I thought I was thinking is what I thought the family should be thinking. And so I always thought that I was trying to get the patients to think how I thought, or get the family to think how I thought. As I've matured and had more experiences with families and working with patients and going through residency and now as faculty, I realized that's the wrong approach. We really are working to find out how that patient perceives dying and getting them to a comfortable position and honoring their wishes, getting them to come along that journey, how they want to come along that journey, and then helping them express their wishes and desires to their family and bringing the family hopefully along with them to help make those very difficult decisions. Death and dying, I think, is sometimes hard to teach to students and learners. It depends on their personal life experiences and their beliefs. I think we can give them experiences to watch and learn from. I think we can give them scenarios to have them think about things they would not have otherwise thought of. But I think it takes experience, and it takes seeing multiple different death and dying patient experiences to have them form their own way to approach the patient and family. There is not a cookie cutter method. There's definitely some things that you don't want to do, and that one of them would be how I thought as a student to impose your own beliefs upon the patient and family.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone.
The Hispanic population, I think they're very family orientated, so they're going to gather around that person, and that's the main focus of them. But I guess with the African American population, we view death and dying kind of differently, because we want to make sure that the proper arrangements are made. And then we have a tendency to be very, very emotional.
Not all of us.
Not
I'll address that issue.
okay. Well, we do. Well, we do have a tendency to be very, very emotional when someone's dying.
I've done everything to move on like I'm supposed to. But I'd give anything for one more minute with you. I still miss you.
To add on to what Myra says, I think a lot of when you're talking about African Americans and death and dying, that you will see, depending on the region, sometimes depending on the location. I grew up in rural America, lots of family, very supportive. We're not the people who roll around on the floor, become hysterical and things like that. So I think that would be a generalization when you say that Black people tend to be very emotional, because not all of us are. Some of us are, but not all of us are. You would not find that in my family at all. We grieve, we do lots of preparation, things like that, but we wouldn't see a lot of that for us. So.
Going up to the spirit in the sky. It's where I'm gonna go when I die. When I die and they lay me to rest, I'm gonna go to the place that's the best.
I have to interpret everything. If the doctor are telling the patient that she has a few days to live, the problem over here is they compare it with back home. I have an incident when the son came to me and he told me, please do not tell my mom that she has a few days to live if the doctor said that. I explained to him that I cannot do that. Back home, the doctor will hide that fact, and he will tell just the family member about the situation of the patient that he has a few days to live. This is what we have also to be right in the middle between the cultural thing we used to do and the patient who is going to be dying.
'Cause I if not for those I've loved along the way.
So I think it's really important, even for young people, to think about end-of-life decisions. On our rotations, we see a lot of young people come across trauma, illnesses, diseases where they are put in a position that they may not live. And so coming up with some sort of plan for the end of care, even at our age, is really important.
And one thing I think we see a lot more than most people practicing in the medical field is death, and the importance of being able to die with dignity, and how often people are too reserved and not ready to talk about it until it's too late, and how we kind of fail patients if we don't talk about the dying process and how to do it with dignity.
Death is a part of life. It is actually a gift that you are given whenever you are standing beside somebody and they are taking their last breath. I think that working at City Union Mission as a medical services supervisor, faith had a lot to do with it. Faith can help a lot of people get through a lot of things, and I know that even sometimes there's anger with death and they don't understand why things happen. Just meeting a patient or a person or family at that same level and letting them realize that, you know, it's their pain that they're feeling with this loss. It's part of life, and to cherish those moments that they have been given with that person.
So I actually witnessed my first patient death on Dobro December, January. It was during our first week of internal medicine rotation. And it was also the first code that I witnessed. And I remember being in that room and seeing everybody crowded around the bed, and just, it was a good learning opportunity, but at the same time I wasn't really thinking about the learning opportunity. I was thinking, oh my gosh, I just seen this patient earlier this morning before he went to dialysis, and now he's coding. And it was, everybody had their own reaction to it. I know that I was really shocked at what was going on because I've never seen a patient die or anybody die in front of me. And some other 6-years were trying to bustle around and trying to help with what was going on in the code. And so afterwards, we just kind of all took the day off and kind of sat and processed, and my attending actually called me later that day to make sure that I was doing okay. So I think since that was my first experience, I think it's definitely going to change as I go on throughout my medical education, just because I'll get more used to seeing that kind of thing and having a different role in the patient care. But it was definitely a shock to see it during my first week of Dobro.
I am still 3rd year, so I've only been in clinic. I haven't really had to deal with death or dying yet. And I think that as I finish medical school, I want to make sure that I can handle the process correctly. And I am kind of nervous about how to speak to patients' families and how to just handle that personally. But I think that as I go on, I'll learn from upper years and learning process the right thing to do or say.
And then for me, my kind of the biggest culture change in my mind has been the amount of care and treatment I want to give to terminal patients. Because growing up, my mom had breast cancer twice, and she also worked at Barnes Hospital in St. Louis, and so I thought it was the norm of care to kind of do everything you can to help the patient, go through all the chemo, all the treatments, all the, the whole 9 yards to help out the patient. But as I see more and more sick people and having to ask people if they want a DNR or various forms of, what kind of therapy happens if you do start to code, or, what do you want? And the further I get into medical school, the further I learn about these illnesses, about, someone has late-stage COPD, intubating them, there's no real, help with that, the chances of them getting extubated are low. So I think that I now want to, I still want to do as much supportive care as possible, but trying to, cure people or really fix them when they're really late stage of a terminal illness, I'm definitely shying away from, sets of therapies that could just cause them more pain and wouldn't improve quality of life.